is Miss Wheeler, and today we have a special guest from Delhi, Miss Varshita Dogra, who is a lawyer by profession and loves cars. Hi Varshita.
Hi.
Thanks for coming to Jaipur to shoot with us.
Thank you.
So Varshita started driving at the age of 18, right?
Yes, officially.
Nice. So she has recently bought this Nexon EV. So tell us something about this car. When did you buy this EV, and why did you think of buying an EV instead of other cars?
Yeah, okay. So we bought it 2 months back, which is in June of 2022. And the reason why we bought an EV was because our everyday running is a lot, like as a family. My brother goes to the office and travels about 100 kilometers every day. I travel about 80 kilometers, 60 to 80 kilometers every day. So we thought, okay, EV could be a good investment for us.
And which variant is this, by the way?
This is an XZ+lux dark edition.
And how much did it cost you?
It costed us 17.45 lakhs.
So why did you think of buying this particular EV instead of other cars?
We did test MG ZS EV, but it was out of our price range, so we decided to go with this one.
Oh, that's nice. So tell me about the experience. Like, they give you one charging setup at your place.
Yes.
So,
free of cost.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about, like, if you are traveling somewhere else and if you want to install another charging setup, what is the criteria for that? And
so for Delhi, we do have a subsidy through which you can get a charging station installed at home for about 2,500 rupees. So that's not that steep. And if you want to install one at your office, one at your home, that's a good way to go with it.
So how much time it takes to fully charge this car at home?
It takes about, so the maximum of charge at once is from 13% to 100, which took us about 9 hours to charge.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, but
so
I mean, you can keep it for overnight charging.
And suppose if you have to travel in the night?
Then you use fast chargers.
So is it like good to use fast chargers at?
Yeah,
like, do you use it? Okay, so you have to go out to charge your car.
Yes,
that.
There are a lot of fast chargers all over Delhi. In Jaipur, there are a lot of apps on your phone that you can install and find where is the nearest fast charging station.
And you get a different, you can get a different meter also for charging setups at your place. So
yes.
What is that like? If you can
you can get another electricity meter at your place, but we haven't gotten that installed because we already have one extra meter. So that's the one that we're using.
Okay. And how much time it takes outside? Like, if you're using fast chargers, so to fully charge the car, how much time it takes?
To fully charge the car, I think the maximum I've tried is 7% to 100%, which took about an hour and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, but it goes from about 45 minutes to hour and a half.
And what is the range like after charging 100%? Like, what is the range of the car?
The maximum, it all depends on how you're driving the car. So if you drive in a lot of traffic during the day, then if you travel during peak hours, then the range can be about, I think, 170 kilometers, 160, 170 kilometers and 100%. But if you drive in less traffic, if you drive as per the way that you're supposed to drive an EV, then you can get about 250 to 260 kilometers as well.
So is it like, does it go that much? Like, suppose it is 23%, it is showing 40 kilometers. So I mean, is it like, does it change, or like it goes till like 40 kilometers?
So interesting fact there. I was in Gurgaon when my car was at 23%, and I was like, oh my god, I have to go back home, which is 40 kilometers, and what am I going to do? It's not going to reach. And it showed 50 kilometers range and 23% charge. So I drove the car, I switched off the AC. I don't know if that makes a difference. I switched off the music system. I don't know whether it makes a difference.
Okay. But I had the service guy, like, can I do this, and does it like improve the performance or something like that?
I've not asked a proper Tata service executive, but I mean, I did a little bit of my research, and these are the gimmicks that people, say that you can try. So I tried that, and I drove at consistent 50 or 60 speed, 60 kilometers per hour, and I reached home, which was 40 kilometers when the car showed 50 kilometer range, and I still reached, and it still showed 40 kilometers range with 13% remaining. So I used only 10% of the charge.
So suppose if you're using sports mode, so what about the range then?
Well, sports mode is a completely different thing. This one time I decided to go a full At least I use 60%, 70% of the charge in sports mode, and I think I did about 100 kilometers in that. Yeah.
And what is the maximum speed of this car?
Maximum speed is, I guess, 120. That's what the company says. I've never tested out if it goes further than that.
Suppose if you're traveling in the city, like you stay in Delhi, you go to Gurgaon, you go to Noida.
I come to Jaipur.
Yeah, you come to Jaipur. So are there enough chargers like in intra-city, like to charge your car in case, if your
I
car is
have
not
only tested Delhi to Jaipur and Jaipur to Delhi, and we have a lot of highway kings there. And at every highway king, you do have a charging station.
So you did not face any problem, like while you were coming from Delhi to Jaipur, there were enough charges, like you can stop and probably...
I did not have any problem doing Delhi to Jaipur and Jaipur to Delhi. I cannot say about other cities, but you can definitely download few apps like Static and of course TATA EV Charge app. And you'll be able to find if there are enough chargers. And
so you have to pre-plan your trip, like you can't, like you just have to leave for some other city right now. You can't do that, like you'll have to properly plan, see where are the chargers, and do you find chargers everywhere, like wherever you see it in the app? It has ever happened that you went there and there was no charging point or something like that?
Sometimes the location that is entered is a little off, like in Jaipur yesterday. We went to Evershine Towers and the location on the map showed somewhere else, but the actual location of the charger is a little off. So those kind of issues happen sometimes. But it's fine. I mean, if you don't do
so you haven't faced any problem in charging your car while you have traveled here?
Not much.
And suppose if you are at your friend's place and you want to charge your car, there's no charging station nearby. So can you charge your car anywhere, like anywhere in the building or at somebody's place?
If you do have a designated charging station, then it's better to charge there. But the issue with charging from anywhere, from any electricity outlet, is that there could be an earthing issue. And in the charger itself, you can see when you put the charger in, it has like a big remote. And if the red light blinks, that means that there's an earthing issue, which means you shouldn't charge from that particular outlet.
Okay, great. So have you done servicing of this car till now?
I have gotten only one service done yet.
And how was the experience? How much did it cost you?
The experience was fine. The only issue was that they did not inform us that a software upgrade is needed, and for that they've booked a later slot. I mean, 5 days later they booked a slot for us, so I have to go back again for the software upgrade. Prior notice or information of this would have been better, but I mean,
so they can improve this.
They can improve a little bit in terms of service. Yes.
Okay, perfect. And when does this car need maintenance? Like, do you have any idea? Though I know you have just bought it like 2 months ago, but like after how many kilometers or more like that?
So the first service is from between 1500 to 2000 kilometers, and the second service is between 5000, I think 7000 to 8000 kilometers. And the next one is 14,500 to 15,500 kilometers. 3 free services.
3 free. And what are the charges after that?
Not sure.
No idea. We'll have to check that then.
Yeah, year later.
Yes. So, how much running do you have in a month? Like, you used to use a diesel car earlier. Now you are using an EV. So, I mean, what difference you have seen? Like, how much you used to spend earlier and now how much are you spending? So, yes.
So, earlier I used to spend about 2,000 to 3,000 rupees a week for diesel, which is, I think, 8 to 10,000 for a month, let's say. And we've only received one electricity bill till now, and that was about, I think, 2,000.
That was for 2 months, right?
For a month and some more days, but approximately it's very low. It's very low.
Okay, then there's a lot of difference, and again, service cost is also there. So people have this question also, like, I mean, you have to get your battery replaced after 7 to 8 years, right? How many years does it take to change the battery of this car?
The warranty for the battery is 8 years. I don't think there's anyone who's driven this car for 8 years.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I don't know what the situation is going to be then.
But you'll be able to save a lot of money.
Yeah, so before we bought the car, I did a cost benefit analysis as to what will it cost me if I get a diesel Nexon and what will it cost me if I get a EV Nexon. and I kind of figured out that it'll take me about 3 years to recover the extra price that I'm paying for an EV, and after that, whatever I save in terms of diesel versus electricity will just be an added bonus.
Okay, that's great. So how was your experience from Delhi to Jaipur? This is the second time you have come to Jaipur. So tell me about it.
The first time when I did Delhi to Jaipur and back, it wasn't an issue. Seamlessly, I could find the charging outlets and everything was good. But this time when I was coming from Delhi to Jaipur, my car got heated up, the battery got heated up. After we charged it at a fast charging station, the car started showing the sign for battery temperature high. And what happens when the battery temperature is high is that the AC reroutes its cooling and it goes towards the battery instead of the car. I called the service station and back in Delhi, and I asked them what to do in such a situation where the car shows a blinking sign of battery temperature high. So they said that you should stop the car and then you should switch on the car and switch on the AC and leave it like that for at least 15-20 minutes. So I tried that out and the sign for battery temperature
Went off.
And it wasn't a problem. Then I charged it again, and again the sign came up and it was again showing battery temperature high. And again I stopped, and this time I stopped for about 30 minutes and this sign still did not go off. So I got very worried as to what to do, what not to do. I called the service station executive again, and he told me what you can do is you can still drive. It won't be an issue. So I was like, okay. I was only an hour away from Jaipur. So that's what I did. And an hour, probably more than an hour, because once I started the car, even after that, the sign did not go for about 50 minutes to 1 hour.
Okay.
And then eventually it did go off, but the AC did not start working.
After 1 hour?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the AC was still not cooling the car.
So it was working till 1 hour and then it stopped working, AC.
No.
Okay.
During that duration, when the battery temperature is high, the AC
AC
will
stopped
not
working.
cool the car.
Okay.
Yeah, it will only cool the battery. Yeah. So my expectation was after the sign goes off, the AC will again start working, but it didn't.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and we were, thankfully it was evening, so the weather was nice. We pulled down our windows and we drove to Jaipur, and then I visited the service station here, and my experience wasn't that great.
Finally somebody said it. So yeah, tell me about it. Like, is it working now?
The AC is not working.
So do you know what is the problem? What is the service guy has told you? Or
So he's told me that they did run a diagnosis. I got two diagnostics run at two different service stations. One was not for EV apparently, so they sent me to another service station. I went there, they did a diagnosis. There, because it's a Sunday, they were not that great in terms of providing help, but they did run a diagnostics and they told me that the problem could be with the AC compressor. The battery temperature high sign is not showing up, but there's a possibility that it might, and
because
then
the AC is not working.
and then the AC is not working, so the battery will not cool down. So that could be an issue.
Okay. So, and this car is just 2 months old and you're already facing an issue.
Yeah, they told me that the AC compressor cost could be around 1,50,000.
And that you will have to pay, or the company will be paying
No,
for
the
it?
company will cover it, but it's still, time taken. It's just been 2 months, so I don't think I should be facing this issue this soon.
Yeah, of course. So what about the heating issue? I mean, in future, if it persists and you are traveling to a different city, so it takes a lot of time, right? Like, you are charging your car, and if your car heats up again, you have to stop. So I mean, is it like a good option to buy this car? Like, if you have to travel intercity a lot?
If you have to travel between cities, I still wouldn't suggest this.
Still need to explore.
Yeah, because the issue one is about the battery heat up, of course. The other issue is that you have to pre-plan your trips, right? Because you have to find out if there are enough charging stations on the way or not, and then accordingly decide. Another issue with traveling between cities can be during summers. The battery heat up would definitely happen during the daytime. So I wouldn't recommend if you travel a lot between different cities. But within the city, I think it's still fine.
It's still fine. I mean, not
I
good.
mean, I still have to see, right?
Great. What are the disadvantages of this car?
The disadvantages, I could say, one is of course the service quality. And of course, because it's a new car, because EVs are not that common, we do not know how well it will do in the long run. We did risk that with this purchase. But, and of course, I mean, I don't know how this issue is going to turn out to be eventually. And I'm kind of stuck at this moment to figure out what to do now. Should I take the car back? Is it risky? Is it not?
You are stuck, like, I mean, don't know what to do.
I don't know what to
exactly,
do because even the service executives, sometimes they tell me, oh, you can drive it, it won't be an issue. But then later they're like, okay, it is a little bit risky. So even they're confused in the feedback that they're giving me. And they tell me that a few other customers have also faced similar issues.
The compressor issue.
The battery heat up issue, the AC not working. The AC not working could be because of other issues other than compressor as well.
So a lot of people are facing this issue with this car.
Yeah.
Oh, that's something to think about, like, because this is a very new car and now only people have started facing issues, so there is something they need to improve on.
I
for sure.
thought that there was enough research, there were enough people out there who've already purchased the EV, because I did a little bit of research before buying this because I did not want to take that risk. And the feedback so far seemed normal when I purchased it, but I still feel like a little more needs to be, I mean, give it a little more time, then maybe this car could be a good buy. And they've come out with a new model as well, the one that has more range than this.
Do you like it more now?
No, I like the black one.
Good, you still like it. I love that.
I have to.
Okay, thank you so much, Harshita. Thanks for your lovely feedback and thank you for coming to Jaipur to shoot with us.
So much fun.
I know, I mean, there's a struggle to go back, but yeah. Thanks to the video. Now, my Insta family wants to ask like 4 or 5 questions, which I'm going to ask you. Let me get my phone. So first question is, what's the actual range it covers after full charge?
It could range from about 170 to 250 depending on whether you use the sports mode or you drive in a less traffic.
Yeah, which we have already answered in the video as well.
Yeah.
And what's the actual time taking for full charge? That also we have answered.
9
but
hours.
yeah, 9 hours at home, and for if you're using like fast charges, then it takes like 1.5.
Yeah.
Okay. So one person is it worth buying this 18 lakh hatchback electric beast? But it's not a hatchback, right?
It's not.
Yeah.
It's a mini SUV.
So is it worth buying? Like, will you suggest people like whether they should go for this car or not?
That's still pending. I can't.
You
I can't
seem
say
confused
that.
about it
Now I do.
after this issue. Before that, you had a different.
I was happy with the car before this. Yes.
So yes or no or maybe
Pending. Just
pending.
pending.
So how about the battery issue in Nexon?
The battery issue, if we're talking about the battery heat up, there are few things that you can do, which is not charge it during the day. Don't travel a lot during the day when it's very high temperature during summers, especially Delhi and Jaipur. The temperatures go really high. So probably do not charge at that time. Do not leave the car out charging in the sun. And the battery issue, I already told you, on the highway I faced an issue with respect to this. So yeah.
Okay. And please check its actual range in sports mode, which you have already done it. And what is it?
Around 100 kilometers, I think.
So last question, what's the maintenance cost of this EV and how much kilometers it covers in full charge?
Maintenance cost is free for the first year and with 3 services, and after that it will probably be lower than diesel and petrol cars, but we'll have to see about that.
True.